Hi there, this is David and welcome to the top 10 games that I'm most anticipating in 2023. This year has been great to us JRPG fans with tons of fantastic releases, especially in the past few months, and thankfully the train does not seem to be stopping anytime soon. We have a ton of already announced releases that I am seriously stoked for. Keep in mind though that as future titles, some footage was pretty scarce, so I had to make do here and there. And with that, here are the 10 RPGs that I am most looking forward to in 2023. Number 10, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. To be released in 2023 for the PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, and Xbox. Suikoden has been one of my favorite series ever since I picked up and played the first one as a teenager after finding it in the bargain bin for only $5. However, I wasn't so lucky scoring such discounts on the later releases because RPGs had skyrocketed in popularity by that point. But unfortunately, like so many other classic series, Suikoden ended on the PS2, and it left a gaping hole in Konami's offerings. Now though, through the power of the internet and crowdfunding, the old team has gotten back together and promised to deliver an old school, charming, and absolutely beautiful reimagining of the lost classic. I think that the most important impact that this has had, though, is that so many other teams are now following in their footsteps and reviving other lost classic series on Kickstarter as well. Number 9, Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, to be released in 2023 for the PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. Here we have the first of 2 Dragon Quest games on this list. Yeah, I know, so sue me, it's my favorite series of all time. Dragon Quest is known for being tried and true. Whenever you pick up a game, you know that you're in for a solid experience. This isn't something experimental like Final Fantasy. Dragon Quest is instead always 100% quality all the time. So, even though they are taking a risk here by turning it into an action RPG based upon an anime, I don't see any reason to hold that against it. Dragon Quest has plenty of spin-offs over the years, and I hope that this one can spawn its own series and sequels, similar to that of Builders, Heroes, Jokers, and Monsters. Number 8, Octopath Traveler 2, to be released on February 24th for the PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. When Octopath Traveler came out in 2018, JRPGs were still kind of on the wane. Developers thought that they were a relic of the past, and they moved on to the fads of the day, such as action-based combat with Dark Souls influences, rather than the turn-based stories of my childhood. But Octopath Traveler changed all that, with its unique approach of storytelling, impressive graphics, and lush, inviting world. That's not to say that it was without its faults, but the sequel here is to change all that, sprucing up the battle system and intertwining the stories so that each character interacts with one another and doesn't just kind of vanish into the background whenever you play your hero's story. There are 8 new characters and a whole new world to explore here, and I just cannot wait. Number 7, Sea of Stars, to be released in 2023 for the PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. Square Enix seems hell-bent on ensuring that a proper Trinity Trigger remake or direct sequel just never happens. So what is a fan to do? Well, let me tell you, the fan is here to make their own damn selves a sequel, I suppose. Sometimes I feel like every indie developer out there wants to bill themselves as the next Chrono Trigger. I mean, look at that cheap trash Chris Tales. But this one, though, seems to be the honest-to-goodness real deal, with beautiful, tropically inspired graphics, a gorgeous soundtrack, and wonderfully tactical combat. Sabotage Studios does have some big shoes to fill. Number 6, Piece Odyssey, to be released on January 13th for the PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. This might be an odd pick to some of you, considering that I really know nothing about One Piece. I mean, I really just don't watch anime at all. But that's not to say that I won't play games based upon an anime, because at the end of the day, I like good games, period. And this one, developed by the same team who created Dragon Quest XI and utilizing the same art style, just looks to be absolutely gorgeous. Not only that, but it's turn-based, with positioning twist, just like Chrono Trigger or Lunar. The only anime that I've ever really watched was Sailor Moon back in high school, and then more recently Avatar the Airbender while I was on COVID lockdown. But this could very well be my gateway drug into the One Piece anime. Number 5. Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie, to be released in summer for the PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. I've been a fan of the Trails series ever since I played Trails in the Sky back on the PSP whenever I first moved to Las Vegas. I mean, hell, I was such a fan I even Let's Played 3 Gag Harv games on my channel back in the day. But somewhere along the way, the weirdo, fan-servicey, boob-grabbing, and high school crap of Cold Steel kinda turned me off from the series. So, personally, I am glad that we have left that arc, and now we're into a final tie-up, following Lloyd of Crossbell, Reen again, of course, as well as the mysterious C. This is going to serve double duty as the final tie-up of those two arcs, while also springboarding the next Calvard arc. Here's to hoping that they can speed up the localization process though, because we're currently 3 years behind all the Japanese releases. Number 4. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, to be released in winter for the PS5. What can I say about Final Fantasy VII that hasn't already been said? Well, a lot. I could gush about the game all day, really. The original was a watershed moment, and the remake, doubly so. I thoroughly enjoyed what they did with it, but if there was one flaw, I would say that was that it only took place in Midgar, which to me is just the worst part of the game. Now that they've left the city, we can see Cloud and the gang make their mark in the world. I want to see a true, classic world map redone in the modern era. I want to see the calm flashback, the trip overseas from Yunnan, the relaxing beaches of Costa del Sol, and the glorious sunsets of Cosmo Canyon. I want to see in real life just how I imagined it to always be as a teenager. Number 3. Ys 10, to be released in 2023 for the PS4, PS5, and Switch. The Ys series has been one of my favorites ever since I was a kid. I enjoy JRPGs of all types, from turn-based to strategy to action, and Ys here is the gold standard of action RPGs. Originally going to be released this year to celebrate the 35th anniversary, Ys 10 is going back in time to showcase yet another one of Adol's journeys. While our spunky redheaded hero was definitely older in Ys 9, he's going to be about 17 this time around, more than likely exploring the continent of Asteria, just like in Ys 1, 2, and 4. Give me a young, twinky Adol and a hot muscle daddy Dogi traipsing around a magical island in full HD. Hell yeah! I am so looking forward to this throwback to the Golden Age. Number 2. Trinity Trigger, to be released in Q1 of 2023 for the PS4, PS5, and Switch. Secret of Mana is a classic, and its sequel, Trials of Mana, is a massive hidden gem. I love the first few Mana games because the formula worked. But then, Square, in all their wisdom, decided to take what worked and then just throw it out the window to give us Legend, Dawn, Circle, Echoes, Children, and many more bottom-of-the-barrel clunkers of Mana. For whatever reason, they just simply refused to return to what worked. So Furyu is taking a stab at it and going back to the basics, taking everything that worked in the first few Mana games and refining it for a modern audience. This is just what the doctor ordered for me. I just hope that we get a chance to play the demo that the Japanese audience already got. And number 1, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake, to be released in 2023 on home consoles. Story time! I remember I got Dragon Quest III brand new when I was 9 years old in 4th grade after I had broken my arm. I stayed home from school for a week and I played this in its entirety. And for good reason. Not only is this one of my favorites, but it's pretty much the entirety of Japan's favorites as well. I mean, this was the entry that made the Japanese parliament pass the law saying that all Dragon Quest games have to be released on a Saturday. Giving you access to multiple job classes and a world based upon Earth, along with tons of towns, dungeons, and quirky characters, this entry wraps up the entire Erdrick trilogy and is nothing short of a masterpiece, but now in glorious HD 2D. So, that's it for my top 10 most anticipated JRPGs of 2023. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. And what games are you most looking forward to? If you like this video and what I do here on the channel, please consider supporting me over on Patreon, heading on over to Twitch for some streaming fun, or joining the Discord to chat and hang out. The links to them all can be found in the video description. This has been David, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.